I didn't know that I was being interviewed for my job again today.
Sorry about that.
Right.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Look at it and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that day.
Totally.
How did motorcycles enter your life?
I've got a pretty cool story for this. So when I was growing up,
Just led that pretty strong.
yeah, I'm just over here like,
So one of my questions that we start with all the time with everybody is, how did riding and motorcycles get into your life?
Yeah, I mean, I work with a lot of folks here that kind of had that from when they were old enough to walk. My family we're all motorcycle riders. They were kind of club guys too, but my grandfather he was a part owner of a Harley Davidson dealership in Las Vegas, which I don't know if it's still around. It could be gone by now.
By
But
the way, is kind of a badass few words linked together.
right, yeah.
Like Harley
Totally.
Davidson dealership in Las
right.
Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that all the time. I got a Vegas tattoo on my arm. People are like, "Oh, did you have a fun time there?" I'm like, "No, I'm from there."
That's
So,
pretty funny.
Yeah. So anyway, they were all road, but kind of by the time that I was the kid that was big enough to know anything, most of the bikes were gone. They weren't really active anymore. So I kind of found it on my own. I actually, oddly enough, came across this short film that was on YouTube back in the day, maybe even Vimeo, but it was called "It's Better in the Wind." And it's he's out of California. He was a photographer. I kind of really admired his work, but his name's Scott Topher. And that was just him and his friends, like taking the Triumphs to Bonneville Salt Flats and doing all that stuff. So I really fell in love with this idea of the scramblers and the cafes and stuff like that. So, when, I had my license and I was old enough, I kind of went to my dad and I was like, dude, I think I want to get a motorcycle really bad. And he's like, yeah, I figured this day would come. I always knew that, bikes were part of the family. And, that's really where it took off for me. So I've owned four Triumphs since then. I dabbled in some sport bikes and now I've got a big touring bike because I want to go lay down the miles and go fishing and doing all that fun stuff. So, yeah.
sort of a brand loyal guy then now.
I don't know if I have brand loyalty per se, but if it's cool, I like it.
Yeah, a certain look fits your eye, right?
Yeah,
Everybody has that
for
same
sure.
thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
What fits your eye? This is the beauty, I think, of the motorcycle community in general. Is like most do not care what you ride as long as you're out riding.
For
and you're
sure.
riding for fun.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think that's what's most important. I've had bikes in the past where, you just never really end up clicking with them. And I think that can be detrimental to actually wanting to get out and enjoy it. So definitely take your time, figure out the bike that you want to be on. And it's okay if that changes in the future.
Well, you're actually leading to a question that we will get to later usually, but you just kind of touched on it. So you somehow end up from Nevada to here. How does your journey end up in Colorado, and how do you end up at Grand Prix?
So I came here, younger when I was a kid. My dad, changed his job. We always wanted to live in Colorado. So he made it happen. We moved out here. I grew up right here in the Littleton area. I've spent most of my life down here. My wife and I now have a house in Highlands Ranch. So I'm like 8 minutes from the shop, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I'm very familiar with the area, and it's pretty funny. I actually have people that I've known from the past that have come into the shop, right? So we're what's really unique about Grand Prix here is we can touch on so many different markets just based on what we offer here at the shop. We sell Indian motorcycles. That's a very different demographic than our Kawasaki riders or our Yamaha riders. And then within those brands, we also have different tiers of motorcycles, right? From dirt bikes to Yamaha offers side-by-sides, right? So we have a huge reach, which is also really cool here. But to circle back, I got a little off track. I actually came to Grand Prix Motorsports about a year ago. Came from the outdoor industry. So I was a rep for a big mountain bike brand here in Colorado. And just really wanted to change. I'm forever two wheels kind of guy. If it's got two wheels, it's fun. I want to ride it. And I just saw the opportunity and I'm like, it's right by my house. it sounds like it would just be a good time, and it really has been. It's
And
been
so,
good here.
so your role now is sales and finance?
Yeah, I do. So sales is my main focus. We have one guy here, Bregan, who's our finance manager. So I'll kind of step in as kind of a backup finance when we need it. If we get really busy on a day or busy, afternoon is what's been happening to us lately. So I'll kind of step in and help out in that role. But no, my main focus here is to chat with people on the floor and make friends.
So, and you had touched on a little bit before, in the sales side of things, is, and I saw it just happen with one of your sister stores at Foothills this past weekend, where this family came in with their son, and they went straight to this pretty big bike,
Mhm.
and I got to see behind the scenes where a couple, the sales manager and the sales guy, were thinking like, why don't we have them demo something maybe a little bit beginner or a little bit,
Right.
let's not go right into the 900, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that we deal with here a lot, especially, new riders. We carry some smaller sport bikes from both Kawasaki and Yamaha. So we do really have something that can cater to that, like, very first time,
Mm-hmm.
no years of experience kind of rider. But that's a really delicate subject to, like, kind of navigate with your customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the time those guys buy the 300 and then they might grow out of it pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I really like to educate folks that, like, hey, you can step up in power a little bit. It's going to take a little bit more restraint from you, right? Some throttle understanding,
Mhm.
some throttle control, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, definitely, like, immediately when somebody's coming in and that bike is just, they're not going to have a good time on that bike.
Right.
Right. It's an incredible bike. Maybe it's just too big of a motor. It's too fast
Or in some cases, maybe too small.
or too small.
Yeah.
So, like, really that's our job here is to guide.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, like, if I'm going to give you every single bit of my experience, I've been riding for about 16 years now.
Mm.
I'm going to give you all that experience that I can. And if it sticks, it sticks. And if not, like, ultimately the customer's going to end up with what they want.
So is this year your first year in motorcycle sales? ever?
Yes, it is.
All right. So who's your first sale? You don't have to say the name,
Yes.
but everyone remembers it. I remember my first car sale when I
Yeah,
was
for
16
sure.
years old. Yeah.
My first sale was, I remember it being a little stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I, like, didn't know what I was doing, but, like, wanted to make sure that I was,
Mhm.
taking care of the customer the
Right,
best way I
right.
could. But he was just in here the other day and he loves his bike. So
It's awesome.
it was an Indian Chief.
Mm.
And yeah, he loves it. So it was a, warm and fuzzy feeling to see the bike come back in. The rider came back in. He remembered my name. I remembered his.
Mm.
So when stuff comes full circle like that, it feels really good.
Yeah, I
So-
love that. My dad, for those who don't know, my dad was a Chevy dealer,
Uh-huh.
and so I grew up back east and was raised in that business. And so one of my first sales, was to this young couple, and the difference though between car sales, and I have a Polaroid actually of that first sale, and I look like I'm 10, like I can't believe they bought a thing from me. But anyway, the point I was going to make is that in the auto industry where I kind of grew up in, there wasn't that family community relationship like you just explained with this guy who buys this Indian from you, right?
Yeah.
And it is such a unique experience. And the listeners are going to maybe hear this thing going
Yeah.
off about us. This is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
All right.
So
We'll roll with it this time.
we'll roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Some background noise.
It's just like if you're riding a bike, it's going to rain,
yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, you've got to adapt and overcome in these
Right.
situations, right?
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, thank you to Grand Prix for having us here.
Yeah,
So we really
absolutely.
appreciate being
Yeah.
here.
But no, I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're gonna get to with the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got to drive a car.
Yep.
Right.
A motorcycle is a choice,
Yep.
right?
Right.
They're fast, they're fun, they're shiny, they can be dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, in the midst of all that, you create this community.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you wave at everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that's out on the road on two wheels, you know, they chose to do that same thing with you. So, you know, that community aspect is just totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get those little small like subcultures in your car world and stuff like that with car meets and this
Yeah.
and that. But, you know, and that does echo very similarly to what the motorcycle community is like. But yeah, you don't selling a car. It's a very different experience than
Yeah.
selling motorcycles.
Yeah.
I think
You touched on it perfectly.
I was
Sorry.
going to say, even when you're out riding and you just
Yeah.
throw a wave
Yeah.
Mhm.
at complete strangers,
Yeah.
right? And you're like, yeah, they're out there doing it too, right? So that's just another reason or another example of that. It could be on a Harley and I'm on a sport bike, or I'm on an adventure bike or whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't
totally.
matter what you're on.
So-
I think everybody deserves that wave, you know?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something Phil and I have not done. So we're going to put you on the spot.
All right.
That's right.
We haven't done this question yet. So what do you wish a customer who's looking for a bike, whether it's their 30th or their first, when they come in, what do you wish they knew coming in so that you could help their experience be better?
Well, first and foremost, I didn't know that I was being interviewed for my job again today.
Sorry about that.
Right.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, sometimes it's really just the process of working with a dealership.
Mhm.
You know, like things do take time here.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people roll in and they're like, I want that bike. Just write it up. Just do it.
Yeah.
I want the bike. I've already done all my research.
Gotcha.
But sometimes it's a little bit longer process, right?
Mhm.
Especially if you don't know what you're looking for, right? There could be a test ride involved.
Mhm.
You know, there's obviously we're going to get to know each other. You know, that's really important to me.
Totally agree.
The bike is just the bike,
Yeah.
you know, but like, let's share in this awesome experience with you.
Totally.
So yeah, I think just expect to be here for a little bit.
Yeah.
We want to be really respectful of everybody's time.
Yeah, this is not McDonald's.
It's not McDonald's, and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is a big purchase.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how expensive the bike is, it's an investment
That's
into
right.
your fun,
Mhm.
an investment into new experiences. Come and hang out with us.
Yeah.
That's really what this is about.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great advice. So that you're not coming in like, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just walked in 15
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know, so
Exactly.
no, I think that, and just understanding that, like you said, it's a big purchase. It's a choice.
Right.
You're making the right one.
Yeah.
And kind of just embrace it, I think.
Yeah. And like just like you, like
Yeah.
when we did come to Colorado, my dad was GMs of all these different car dealerships and stuff. I
Mhm.
grew up there.
Yeah.
And I think we could probably all agree we generally don't like car salesmen. right?
Totally.
We feel
That's
like
why I
there's-
became a lawyer. The
they're
next
the
most senior
phony
position.
people, right, or whatever. They're just trying to rip you off and get all the money out of you. Like, we're just people here that ride too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's not about the bike.
Yeah.
It's about making sure that you're prepared for that experience.
Yeah, and it's the anticipation of it. It's the future. It's almost like buying a lottery ticket,
Yeah.
right? You're going, except you know you're going to actually win because
yeah,
you're buying it
yeah,
and you're getting it,
yeah, exactly.
right? As opposed to hopes and dreams,
Right.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
going to happen. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So then, you know, one of the things, it was funny because when I came into this dealership a week or two ago, and I saw him, like the context I didn't understand
Right.
at first, and because, you know, I've seen you out and about now for a number of years because of our kind of joint connection with Vana,
Correct.
and multiple friends through there. So tell me about that part of the community because it's deeply important to me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that we're in a really great position right now in Colorado. It seems like there's a motorcycle boom happening, if you will. And folks like Vana, the Moto publication, really kind of helped foster that. And it really built a lot that happened last year, too, I feel like. You know, we got the new Revit headquarters here,
Yep.
you know, kind of on that whole Octane Alley. So we've got a lot of people that are out there advocating not only whether it's your advocacy or their community advocacy, it's just fostering that community, and that's what it's about. So, I mean, it's been built up, Denver Moto meetups every week throughout the summer.
Just awesome.
And you get every walk of life there, which is cool.
Yep.
But everybody's there under that shared experience of the two wheels.
Yeah,
So-
completely. Yeah, and I think you touched on it. It's this this really unique, from the ground up, just community that's here in Colorado, and we're, sorry to break the news, but we're gonna miss Vana, right?
For sure.
And it's my goal to resurrect the film festival in particular,
Mhm.
to make sure that at least exists in the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
Because things like that, all of us together at the Oriental Theater, in Denver,
Right.
watching amazing shorts that are by people that we know
Yeah.
and love.
Inspiring, inspiring work.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't let that go.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Well, it's also hard to describe that. To be in the Oriental, to be with that select group of people, to watch these, like, I hate to use the word curated, but like, these movies that people make, these shorts with your friends,
Mm-hmm.
and
You're laughing.
oh, you're laughing, you're standing for
I
like
get a tear from some of them. You're like, yeah.
it's a really cool experience.
Well, it makes you want to figure out what your next adventure is going to be too.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So
I mean, that's where we met.
Yeah,
Right?
that is.
Yeah,
that is.
what, 2 years ago, two film festivals ago.
I'll tell that real quick story.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because it. So I go to Vana, and I see like this guy looking like super powerful walking around, like people hovering around him, doing all the things, right? And then I'm like, oh, that seems like he might be important, right? And then they start the festival. They call this guy up on stage, and he's like, oh, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I'm like, oh, this guy is somebody. So yeah. So anyways, then we chatted a little bit, and I was like, I gotta get to know Scott. He seems like a really good guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Vana did it. So
Yeah,
it's,
for sure.
it's a really cool thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Scott's works, I mean, even impacted me pretty closely. You helped a very close friend of mine when he had a terrible accident last year. So,
Yeah.
he's out here helping people.
This Scott helped me last week. We were shooting something, and he was like, you got to have the medical, it was the extra medical coverage.
MedPay.
Med pay. And I was like, yeah, I declined that. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
yeah.
We were done. I was like, should I get that? He's
This
like,
guy knows a lot about insurance. So,
Yeah,
unfortunately, that's like most of your job, right?
exactly. Yeah, my joke is I don't sell it. I just sue the shit out of them. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, I just wish it's a question that comes up over and over again. Unfortunately, in your friend's case and others,
Mhm.
where you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always out advocating, whether it's in front of big groups of people, sometimes hundreds, sometimes just 10 or 15. Just like, please get the word out, get as much underinsured motorist coverage as you can. I know it's boring. It's the least sexy thing ever to talk about, especially in the motorcycle world, but you got to have it.
Yeah, you don't want to spend your money on it until you need it, but
Yeah,
that's
and
just the way
and
it goes.
unfortunately, by the time you need it, it's already too late.
Right,
And
exactly.
that's the problem.
When you
can't,
think
can't
about-
go back on that.
What does the full policy cost you? And I think I've maxed out according to your advice, but I want to say I'm between $500 or $600 a year. So it's not like
Right. It's not over.
monster.
Yeah, it's not $500 or
dollars.
$600 a week.
Right.
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 Yeah. And the one thing, and this is the dirty secret, or the thing that I'm not supposed to really say out loud, but you touched on it earlier, which is it is a choice to ride a motorcycle. It's a great choice.
Mhm.
I fully endorse it. It's part of a community that I love, and we all do. But as a result of the choice, just also make some other good choices, like a good helmet, a good set of glasses, good gloves, good gear, just like you normally would do to protect yourself.
Right.
And it should be considered as like part of your gear, the insurance. And by the way, Progressive, that's another $1,000 you owe me. I'm just kidding. I have no relationship with them. I sue them all the time. just to be clear.
No, I think a lot of like how you ride goes into this too, right? And
Yeah. Give us the salesman's take on that.
Yeah.
you're talking about like dangerous riding
No, just-
habits
no.
or
just this whole scenario of like the bike, the gear, the insurance, you know.
Well, I mean, it's all. There's a really great example.
Mm.
So, I doubt you have your phone on you, but do you put a case on your phone?
I do.
Do you put a screen protector on your phone?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So you do most of the protection.
Yeah.
It's your phone.
Right.
It's something can be replaced and thrown away.
Like that. Right.
If you're going out riding your motorcycle at highway speeds, street level speeds, why wouldn't you protect yourself?
Such a fucking great example. Excuse my language.
Yes, yes.
That's a great example.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I have this theory, and I'll pose it to both of you. And maybe
It's a great example.
this is like 99%. But when I see
All right, you got it.
when I see folks no helmet, no gear, I'm like, they could not have had any sort of major wreck. That's what I think.
Or know anybody.
Or know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's called learning the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that on a bike.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right.
I followed behind you last year at the Sophie's ride,
Mm-hmm.
and you had that. What's that gear? The thing that attaches to the back of your helmet that is like brake.
The brake light on
Yeah.
the back of the helmet.
Yeah.
The name is slipping me, and I feel
Slipping me
terrible.
too,
Brake
'cause
free.
Brake free. That's it.
That's right.
Are they a Colorado company?
Shout out to
It is.
Alex. He
Yeah.
lives
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Broomfield. I think.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
it is a great product. It worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why not everybody does.
Yeah, I still have it to this day on the back of my helmet.
Mhm.
It's got an accelerometer in there,
Yeah.
so it's not something that you like actually hook up to your bike to make like
Mhm.
it doesn't work with your brake pedal. But I'll tell you, it works very closely.
Yeah.
Like it's got a whole Bosch system accelerometer in there, and the second it senses slowing, it's actually gonna flash that light
Yeah.
on the back.
It's very
of it.
cool, and it worked flawlessly.
Yeah.
I think one of the key selling points is some of them are connected to your, and I don't get anything from it. Not endorsing. I'm just saying that. But you squeeze the brakes and they go off. He's like, well, what if you're downshifting and slowing down?
Right.
Hence the accelerometer, and it'll
Yeah.
go off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a very smart product.
yeah.
I actually met him at Foothills when they were doing an event there, and I picked it up from him directly. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's to your point, which I will definitely now give you credit for the rest of my time doing, like the speech
yeah,
of how to protect. Like the phone thing is a great simple analogy.
yeah,
Mhm.
And I get it. We're in a state where you don't have to wear helmets. That's fine. It's not illegal. There's choices to be made. I've ridden without helmets on occasion, and we've all done things. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm just around my neighborhood or whatever. I'm over that now. I don't do that anymore. I've seen too much.
yeah. I've heard stories.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so I don't do it, but I'm not critical of people who do.
No,
It's a choice. But I have too many stories now.
right. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be anybody's dad here,
Right,
right? And be
exactly.
like, put your helmet on,
Totally.
But if you have somebody that loves you, or you love somebody, or you value something about your life, I mean, you really need to protect yourself.
Yep.
Because
Totally.
you don't control the future. You don't know what's going to happen around that next corner.
Yep.
Stuff happens all the time.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of times for almost all my riders, there's nothing they could have done about it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. From wildlife
Totally.
to, your drivers turning left in front of you
Yeah.
at intersections. I'm like on my brakes,
Yeah.
not on my brakes, but hovering over my brakes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Every time I get to that situation,
Mm-hmm.
because I just know that's when it happens. That's when it
Yeah.
jumps out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't know what's gonna happen.
So one of the most badass riders I know of all time is Rachel Baldwin, and she is now finishing up one of the big iron butt things that happen right now, and I don't even understand it. I mean, it's just insanity. I mean, thousands and thousands of miles. So, but anyway, she'll just go for coffee in California and like ride her motorcycle to California, and then she's coming back on some dark road, and she hits a deer. Right. And thank God she's totally fine. Her poor bike got totaled, but she's on another one. And like I said, things just kind of happen. But she had the right gear.
Yeah.
An amazing rider. And
She does have a pretty new bike, though.
she does a pretty
yeah.
good bike.
Yes.
She wishes it was still her old.
I know. I know. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, it just nobody's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Well, let me ask you this: in those situations, like how are you covered against these like acts of God? Right?
Oh yeah,
Is that kind of what
that's
they
a great question.
consider it?
That's what collision and comprehensive is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so that's part of your normal coverage.
Yeah.
And so if the bike gets stolen or a tree falls on it or you just happen to go down on some sand and
Right.
scrape up your bike, that's what collision and comprehensive
Well,
covers, regardless of fault.
I have a lot of customers that are like, "Oh, I can't wait to get my bike paid off so I don't have to carry full coverage anymore."
It just costs a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
And nobody has a spare $5,000 laying around that I'm aware of.
No.
And if you do, you just were at Bezos' wedding, I guess.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, like-
I
right.
don't understand.
Yeah.
So I've never endorsed the idea of turning off your collision and comprehensive. Even if I have a 10-year-old vehicle, right? It's now not worth nearly as much as when I first bought it. I'm not going to turn it off because even if the thing's only worth $10,000 now, I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to have to spend the 10 grand to. I don't know. I never
Yeah.
understood
Yeah.
saving literally just a few dollars.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, I'm glad I kind of thought of that because I do get that question quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the riding gear. Protect.
Yeah,
That's an investment. Protect it.
totally.
Because you don't want something bad to happen over $20-$30 a month difference in your insurance payment or whatever it comes out to
For
be.
collision and comprehensive, it's literally could just be like $5.
Right.
I mean, if you have some brand new bike that's worth 30, maybe it's the 10 or
Yeah.
15, 20. But over the life of it decreases because the value is decreased over time.
Correct.
And I've always thought it was 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Because then if something does, God forbid, happen, you then just call and it's their duty to pay for whatever the market value was at the time of the bike.
Right.
And if you do, do you guys get a lot of people that accessorize their stuff and they do a lot of modification to their bikes?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially with Indian motorcycles, right?
Yeah.
A lot like Harley.
Yeah.
They have an extensive parts catalog,
Yeah.
extensive performance upgrades, everything. So yeah, it's pretty rare that a bike like that rolls out of here and stays stock its entire life.
So one of the things that would be benefit to your clients would be to also let them know once that's done is get the bike evaluated at its proper cost.
Mhm.
Because they maybe bought it for 15 or 20,
Right.
but then they put another 5,000 on it, increase the value by 5,000. Now the bike's really worth 30.
Right.
So that their collision and comprehensive actually reflects the truth.
I mean, is that a separate coverage you have to carry for?
No. Well, I mean,
accessories and
there is
stuff?
accessory coverage and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's if you don't have that accessory coverage and if it's not available to you, then you want them to reevaluate the value of the bike
Got
so that you're getting the true cost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's interesting. Sorry, this got boring really fast.
Yeah,
So here we are.
I totally apologize.
We come field and stream to, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we need the AC unit to kick back on to
get us back,
mix things up a little bit.
right? Yeah.
That's right. So one last kind of follow-up question. So new baby on board.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Any fun trips or adventures in this next year that you're going to try to squeeze in?
I think we're keeping it pretty close to home.
Mhm.
I'm really scared to miss anything in this first year.
Totally.
Right now she's almost 5 months old.
Yeah.
So like everything cool is happening right now.
Totally.
She's laughing about this and laughing about that.
That was my
but-
favorite when
yeah.
my boys were little. It's
Yeah.
the first real belly laugh giggle.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I do maybe kind of have a tentative plan. I would love to go down to Four Corners, and just check it out, see what's going on down there.
It's a great time of year to be down there. I mean,
For sure.
We sponsor it and we love it. And where it's 90 something here in Denver, it's 70 something there.
Right.
And it
Yeah.
like, especially at night, those really nice, beautiful, cool nights up there
For sure.
or down there are just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for me. Focusing, this is our busy season, so really focusing on the shop and getting customers taken care of and getting them out riding. But of course, family first.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, Jake, I really appreciate your time today. It was
You got it.
so
Thanks,
fun.
Scott.
Sorry for all
Yeah.
the
Jake?
distractions.
No,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah, so go ahead and lead us out.
Great episode. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing.
absolutely.
And stay tuned
Thank
for
you,
the
guys.
next one.
Thank you.